Well met, lords and ladies, Jacob Butter speaking, and a warm welcome to this week's Walking Wednesday. And, by the way, just before I go ahead and say anything else, I am well, I am safe. There you go. As my dad said, it's good to open up with that, I guess. So, yeah, also that I'm back in Godalming, because a few people still thought that I was in Liverpool, and might have just been in my studio flat, just quarantining myself on my own. But no, I'm back in Godalming, I'm with family, and that's all sorted. Curious enough, I'll say the family that was wondering about me, but the people live in Liverpool, but no, I'm in the family in Godalming. Anyway, point is that I'm well. I mean, honestly, I thought I had a bit of a temperature, but then I realised that I just hadn't been outside all day, my room was roasting. So yeah, I touched my forehead and it's actually cold now. So, there you go. False alarm. And also, if my voice sounds a bit croaky, then I think that just might be dehydration. Honestly, I'm not coughing, so I'm not immediately worried or anything. Maybe I'm just paranoid or something. Because I was just thinking about that while walking out here. Because if I thought about that before, I wouldn't have gone out. But no, I think I'm. But no, it's just that might be slightly dehydrated. Which doesn't make sense because I've been drinking more water than usual, but oh well. Who even knows anymore? So, I've lost my train of thought now. Yeah, no, I lost my train of thought. So yeah, what even did happen this week? I'm not having memory lapses. It's just that, again, with quarantine, nothing else really happens that much. I mean, apart from recording stuff for Pixelmonth, really, and submitting a piece of coursework in, that was basically it. The coursework was a poetry essay, so not very exciting, and it was just about 3 different poems that could influence your contemporary writing. So actually, something I'm going to do this month as well, I think, is I'm going to, well, this is the beginning, I'm going to post a few of my poems online and get some feedback from people, such as you wonderful lords and ladies, and see what everyone thinks about them. So yeah, I'll be doing that alongside Pixelmonth. So yeah, also Pixelmonth is not an April Fool's joke, by the way. That's an actual thing we've been planning since March, and there are actually scheduled videos to go along with that. Honestly, I need to actually write them properly, but no, it's not write them properly, edit them properly. But so that's why they're taking a while, but at least for me to actually process. But well, we've got about, I don't know, maybe at the least 20 episodes by this point. So we're pretty much set. We might be recording some more of those today. Who knows? Will there be a musical rendition this time, much like the Pixelmonth series of old? Possibly, but not every 5 episodes, like the Pixelmonth of old, because yeah, that got. Well, I see. It was a fine gimmick actually, especially because I didn't have anyone to bounce comments off. So, if anything, it was okay. And also, my mic quality and actual gameplay wasn't that good at the time, so using those EasyVid stock sounds was not too bad. Although, did they end up repeating themselves? I think they ended up repeating themselves a bit too much. I can't even remember. Surprisingly enough, even I don't watch my old videos anymore. So yeah, it's interesting that the more I think about the videos that I've done in the past, the more that I'm proud of them, but also don't want to actually look at them again. Because it seems that, because if I did, I would just be pointing out all the stuff that I could do better, which is just basically art in a nutshell, really. But yeah, it just means that it's a constant endeavour to improve, and that's what happens. But yeah. So yeah, speaking of art and stuff, one thing I've also been doing actually is I've been working on a mini movie. because of Pixelmonth, the Mutant Girl got delayed. Well, basically, the editing of it got delayed because there was so much that we were actually getting through all at once. That I thought, you know what, I'm just going to park this, do my homework, do Pixelmonth, and get that sorted. So I did. And yeah, if anything, what I've been doing then is I've been looking into this idea I had for a mini movie, which I mentioned last time, and I've just been collecting ideas for that. I mean, the one thing that I've been telling everyone is that it's set in an MMORPG, so I guess you could kind of make it similar to World of Warcraft, but I haven't ever played World of Warcraft, but I think it's a similar idea. It's like medieval setting with different species and different classes that you can choose, etc. That kind of thing. Funny thing is, I related it more to D&D, even though I haven't played that either. I don't know what I'm doing with this idea, but it was the best way to actually use a lot of the gacha backgrounds, actually. Because that's a problem that I've noticed in my own gachas as well, again, improvement of art, etc., is the fact that you actually, because of the realism of the situation, some of the more fantastical backgrounds can't be used, and also the gacha character designs as well, because the Mutant Girl is based so much in everyone being human, except for the very few mutants that exist at this point in time. There's no possibility for werewolves, mifwa, fox demons, I don't know, deer folk, whatever they're called. There's no real chance for those to actually appear, so basically this is going to be an excuse to actually use them all and see if I can actually take advantage of gacha. And maybe even with those weapons, actually, there might be more of a possibility for a decent fight scene. I'm not sure yet, but I do want there to be some combat in this. So that's something that I'll have to look into, is how to actually pull that off. But yeah, and I've just been bouncing off ideas for either different characters or arcs or something that other people can have in Buttercore. So yeah, I guess if you have any ideas for that, then put them in the comments or something. I'm not gonna completely give away what the actual overall threat is, although we do have one. So I'm pretty much set on antagonists and stuff, and the main characters too. So I don't know, any side characters or something that you might think of, those would be appreciated. But yeah. So that's honestly kind of it. I mean, I stayed in for the past few days because I was working on the actual homework. So this is the first time I've been out in basically 3 days. So yeah, I guess if I had anything, it would have cleared up by now. Although they say that's actually so supposed to wait a week now. That's the new advice that they've given. And the reason for that is that if you live with several people, you can just give it to each other back and forth. So it takes a while to obviously clear up. So yeah, that's that for now. But yeah, so I guess I can put my paranoias to rest, because if I haven't been out, then either I got it from someone else who should have been showing symptoms by now, or I don't have it. So I guess I don't have it. So yeah, I guess I can rest easy. And so can anyone else that was worried about me. So yeah, obviously I'll still monitor myself and see if there's anything going on. But yeah, like I said, if I thought about this before I started walking about, then I wouldn't have gone out. But who knows? Who really knows? Anyway, so trying to think if there's anything else I can say. I mean, Aiden returned. He disappeared after a while. We're still no verdict on what happened to Caroline, because she hasn't been saying much. Although I think there's something personal going on that even if I could get into, I shouldn't. But I can't, because I don't know what's going on. But yeah, something's going to happen. But yeah, Aiden's back, so he'll probably be of invaluable help in the process of that mini movie, because he loves to actually come back and work on some writing. Anything that I'm writing, he'll just say, "Oh yeah, well can this happen? Can this happen? Or let's do a mini series." So yeah, honestly, probably the most enthusiastic writer I've met in a while. And I go to a creative writing course at university, so that's saying something. I guess speaking of that, he's also got a credit on Mimi's new intro of Taming the Bad Boy Season 2, which is going to be called If I Had You. Which, now I'm thinking about that, people change the season the series names for the actual seasons of one same show. And that's not to say that's like My Street, where there's a different name for every season except for the first one, because those ones are clearly marked as My Street Season 2, etc. This one I'm not sure if it's going to have Taming the Bad Boy Season 2 in it or not, but I recommend it if so. That reminds me, I've got to clear up my voice, do some get some honey lemon in there, because I've got to do my lines today, as I promised Mimi. So yeah, more Gacha voice acting, and yeah, people of on the Gacha voice acting servers, they've been calling in a few of their projects, some of the episodes. Well, there was one person who said the movie was cancelled, but it was an April Fool's joke, and we all knew that. But yeah, so everyone's keeping on going, which is great to see. I did leave the Miraculous VA server because, again, I know nothing about Miraculous Ladybug and also never heard the English voices. Maybe I did one time, actually, because I do remember watching some of it in Spanish when I was on holiday. So, yeah, I don't know. But, yeah, the point is, I know nothing about the show, and all the characters went anyway for White auditions. So, yeah, the actual person complained that people were leaving if they didn't get a role, but that's kind of what you have to do in acting servers, and just in acting in general. If you don't get a role, you say, all right, thank you for the experience, and move on. That's basically that. And once again, Gacha is a microcosm of film in general. I've said this before in episode 9 of Walking Wednesday, actually, or something like that, some very early rendition. So yeah, it's and in this instance, the Gacha voice acting community is now rising more than ever, as I've said before, because basically, even though I found out there was somebody who did a couple of voice acting episodes before me, I don't know, I'm still pretty sure that I was one of the first to actually hire voice actors for Gacha, and here we are 1 year later, and suddenly that's a rising trend. Completely independent of the Mutant Girl, by the way. I'm not claiming credit for that. It's something that just happened over time. If anything, it might be things like what Midori Stories is actually uploading, because he started using voice actors not too long ago as well. So people are, I guess, catching on to that. So yeah, it's about time. It's interesting because now I remember that Afmal did a couple of videos on Gacha, and she actually showed off people doing some voice acting. But yeah, even then it was very primitive, I guess, in terms of in terms of primitive production, or the primitive days of Gacha voice acting. And then it didn't catch on. So I don't know. I guess people, now that they've actually started doing voice acting servers, and that's the thing on Discord, that's where the voice acting community is rising. So if you want to get into Gacha voice acting, hop onto Discord. Chances are you'll find a Gacha VA server somewhere, because there are tons of them, let me tell you. And at this point, I've stopped joining some of them because they're just so many. I mean, if I still see an appealing title that I think I could be a good part of, then I'll join that one. But even then, it's something that that doesn't... It's really stressful. Thank you. There was a person there. See? People think that I'm looking at the camera and I don't see what's directly in front of me. That is not true. I've said this before as well. I can see what's in front of me. It's called peripheral vision. And I can see beside me. Like right now I'm looking and I'm about to cross the road. Right now. And there's a road to my left and one to my right. So yeah. And the sign in front of me says Chestnut Way. See? Easy. Peripheral vision. So yeah, it's all about, about directing your attention up and down at the same time. So yeah, multitasking. Because humans can multitask. So yes, that's a thing. But yeah, speaking of multitasking, I think that's pretty much it in terms of everything. So, and will I be running voice acting auditions for the mini movie I was doing? Yes. Just like I did for Stromanoff, which by the way is still going on. We're just waiting on the skins. That's taking a lot longer than before because the one skin maker that we have has so many projects. It might be easier if we actually try and look for someone else at the same time, just to ease the workload. But the other person we found was completely inactive, and then just randomly left the group chat one day, so that didn't work. But yeah. If anything, yeah, we'll put a notice out or something. So yeah, that's But in terms of voice acting auditions for the mini movie, yes, they will be done, but they will be done after the script is made, I think, because that's something that people do the other way around. They do the auditions first, and then they work on the script. Although maybe I should do it the other way around actually, because that way I can get to know people who are in the certain parts and can easily write for them. That could be a better option. Yeah, maybe I'll do it like that. So maybe once I get a couple of good lines going, I'll put the auditions out. So yeah, I guess look forward to that. Although again, like before, people at Buttercore will get an early release, so just beware of that. So yeah. But I guess for right now, please leave a like or dislike because your opinion matters. And on that note, until next time, farewell.